Hi, fanatics. Hope everyone is well. Today we're going to do a little video on one of the notes that has been prominent in men's perfumery. And I would say it's one of those old money scents because in the profile of some of the perfumes I'm going to highlight, you would see a high amount of them are actually niche luxury brands. And Vetiver, um, those who viewed the video I did on the Cremor DNA, it's a grass and gives this deep greenish grassy set. So one of the first, I wouldn't say first, but one of the more popular vetiver scents in the market came out in 2000, which was vetiver by Guerlain's, and they also have EDP and a perfume version in this. They also have new packaging for these bottles also, much more squarish bottle than these rectangular bottles. What you get here is a very sophisticated citrus greenish scent that works well with white t-shirt, good for daily wear, office ready, but it has this smoothness and calmness about it that um, it's a very good scent. I would read this is one of the best top 10 vetiver scents on the market. Also, in that old money is original Creed vetiver. Creed vetiver is also one of those controversial creeds. Many would say it copies the scent DNA from Mulna, which is Mulna cologne, which I believe predates the scent. Um, and these two are very, very similar. What you get with this is a similar mix of citruses and vetiver. Uh, Same smoothness. This one comes about a little more soapy than the Guerlain's vetiver, but same use, I would say. This is another daily wear, a white t-shirt, tie, office ready set. Obviously, this one is much more expensive, office ready. Again, we're going into the high-end scents that carry better as a note, and this was very popular some years ago. I don't see much influencers speaking about it again, but I would say another one that is built a little bit similar. Grey Vetiver comes about a little more woody than the original Creed and the Guerlain's. One of the key differences, it has, you could smell one time, it has sage and grapefruit in the top notes, and it also has pimento. So you could actually smell those nuances. This also has some oak moss and amber in the base. There's a next lovely scent, again, white t-shirt, daily wear. We also have Vetiver Sensual. This is a nice citrus, sweet, spicy take on it. And here, Mansura adds a lot of citrus notes. Adds lime, lemon, bergamot, orange. It adds a touch of mint and patchouli. Um, this was when this now came out. I believe this came out in 2020. There's a lot of hype on this when it now came out. Again, you have a nice citrus, sweet, ready vetiver base scent. And this is one that, interestingly, I could see could use in on a date. It's the sweetness in it because of the addition of the mint and the patchouli, and then they have a orchid note uh, and amber in the base. This one has a little more complexity than the others that I could see. This could easily be used as a date night scent also. Again, another niche brand carrying vetiver as the note. Uh, so the Sultan vetiver, just when you hear the name, very Middle Eastern take on the vetiver. This one is sharp and strong. This takes vetiver to the max, but it has some interesting notes in it. So this has Haitian vetiver, bourbon vetiver, normal vetiver, Java vetiver, but it has anise, bergamot, and neroli and tonka bean. So it's sharp green and sweet at the same time. It has leather in the base also. This is really I would say a really unique Middle Eastern take on a vetiver profile. I wouldn't say this is a scent for everybody because it doesn't come across with the smoothness of the previous ones, but you could tell this has been for a Middle Eastern market. Can't forget the classic. Not going to get into much in this. Dark green vetiver, earthy, a classic as far as I'm concerned, one of the best vetiver scents in the market. So this one is a Karl Lagerfeld Bosley vetiver, a very budget-friendly vetiver scent. Has some of the nuances from sensual vetiver, but this one works very good for daily wear. It has a lot of orange and pink grapefruit. It also has the mint that you get in the sensual vetiver note. It has some abroxin to project. This to me actually comes across much more youthful than some of the other vetiver scents. I would say a perfect way to kind of describe this is if Creed Adventus was built with the base note of vetiver instead of birch. Right? This is very good for daily wear. Excellent value also. You could get these relatively cheap. So this scent here doesn't have vetiver as one of the notes. It has green notes, and I suspect some of those green notes could be aspects of using vetiver. It has cypress, but if you like that green note take that you get from vetiver, this is really interesting. This basically is that they took the Dorm intense DNA that primarily uses iris and substitutes the iris with the green notes inside here. Really interesting take on green. Right? Now you do get the cypress in this mixed with cardamom, but I suspect what they have as green notes also some aspects of using some aroma chemicals that smell very similar to vetiver. And we can't forget classic, yeah, polo green. So a classic old school scent. There's a mix of a number of different notes. Vetiver is one of the base notes in this also. And this is green, powerful, not for everybody, right? However, this is something that very few people talk about, which is the updated take on the polo green, and what they call this one, they call it polo cologne intense EDP, and this is like a modernized take on the polo green. So what it does is it eliminates a lot of the it takes out the cypress completely. So the pine note that you get in the original green polo is not here. What they did is replace that with basil, mint, and grapefruit on the top. They have sage and violet leaf and thyme. And then the base is a mix of ambroxan to help it project vetiver and patchouli. A good way to describe this is trying to give the original polo green a Door Sauvage experience, right? But for me, a very interesting scent that for me is highly underrated, right? And these come in 125 ml and 250 ml that you get at really good prices online. And then the last one is a clone. And this is a clone of a very popular Byredo. This one, very few online people carry this, but this is a very good clone using same mix of citruses. So this opens very bright. Right? This has blackcurrant, lemon, bergamot, um, African orange flower, has jasmine, it has violet, and then on the base is where you get the vetiver mixed with musk and cedar and amber. Really nice scent. This is one could also use daily, and I could say this is a good evening or date night scent if you want something different for evening or date night scent, right? But here, I think I gave a very interesting take on a very old school scent. You're getting it less in some of the new perfume releases simply because a lot of the new perfume releases now has been focused on either aquatic or very sweet, overly sweet men scents. But in the niche and luxury world, they still use vetiver as a keynote in a lot of sense. So I hope you enjoy that little profile on the scent note of vetiver. Bye.